Good day. It's a quiet one. Oh no. Sister Jeannie got up. Yay. Hello, CW and CJ. Hope you're well. Today is February 8th, 2025. And things are moving right along. We're going to continue. I know this is getting, well, it's not getting monotonous. It's actually getting interesting now. So, but I know it's not specifically Catholic related, but it is in a sense. So, in the sense that we need to get to a Catholic system so we can, shake off this one and don't feel as if this one is this monetary system is all there is, because there isn't. Let's see who else joined. Somebody else came in there. Hello, Denise. Welcome. And yeah, so lots going on. Oh, let's quick talk about current events, which there isn't much talk about the volcano and earthquakes in Santorini, Greece, in the Aegean Sea there. If anybody's near there or whatnot, it was, Campi Flegrei is still active, but not as active now. It seems like it moved over to the Aegean Sea, a little bit south, and they're getting like 4 to 5 magnitude earthquakes constantly. They cannot sleep, the poor people on the island. And apparently, I get all my information from this girl, YouTuber, I think it's On the Pulse with Silky. She's nice Canadian lady, and I guess she must have gotten a degree in volcanology or something. But she's very sweet, and she keeps people posted with what's going on there, because it doesn't seem like many people are. In any case, they are not able to sleep there because of the constant rumbling. It kind of reminds me of what the symptoms are going to be for an EMPCOE, EMPCOE, and which may or may not happen depending on our sin. Again, this is my opinion, but the EMPCOE stands for electromagnetic plasma changeover event, which Klaus Schwab incorporates into his idea of the reset. So there are times in history, and I believe that they're more frequent than scientists believe they are. So, they always say, well, it happened 10,000 years ago. Well, something happened a lot more recently than that, like multiple times. We have the Dark Ages, we have the Carrington event, all sorts of things. And especially when the powers that be control the history and the availability of written information. So yeah, so they're evacuating the islands, and it's apparently it's a huge caldera when you look at the map from the satellite, the islands of Santorini, and apparently they're now reporting land rise or water reduction. So if the land comes up, the water is going to appear to be going down, and which indicates, according to Silky, is magna filling up chambers from underneath. So they are starting to really get nervous, and they're trying to evacuate like 15,000 people, and they're charging them to get off the island, all the ferry companies, and there's no I guess there's no airport or anything there, helicopters and stuff. But in any case, let's get started with Good Day Rising prayers. We'll get into again how how this system is operating right now and our remedy. I also have good news from a gentleman yesterday who I explained how I sent in my IRS coupon and got remedy for tax year 2020. And he just messaged me yesterday, and he wants to remain anonymous, but he just took a screenshot of the corner of his check from the IRS. Not a lot, but some people want to, just test it. Hey, if I get a bill for $2,000 from the IRS and I send in the little paper, turn it into a money order, and send it back, and they get rid of it, so be it. I was very happy to hear that somebody else has gotten remedy. I'm trying to find out if that was recent. If that was recent, that's a good sign, because things might have changed since the changeover in the administration from when they stopped it last year after my first one in July. All right, so let's close this fire down a little bit and start our morning Good Day Rising prayers. In nomine Dei, matronam nostra, Dei misum Christum, Dei Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity and in Catholic contemplation humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that Thou art here present. I venerate Thee with the deepest humility. I render to Thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to Thee. O Most Holy Trinity, I firmly believe that Thou art three divine beings in one Holy Trinity, in one Divine Family. In relying on Thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of Thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum matronam nostrae. O Most Holy Trinity, I love Thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because Thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of Thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven. O Most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank Thee for all the favors Thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to Thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in Thy service. I consecrate to Thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by Thy love, or that would not tend to Thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Most Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O Most Holy Trinity, Thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of Thy grace. Deny me not Thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which Thou forbiddest, to practice the good which Thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please Thee to send me. O Dei matronam nostra, I place myself under Thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of Thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dei matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended Thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because I have offended Thee, O Most Holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of Thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. In nomine Dei, matronam nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. A couple quick things too. I had to change the PayPal again. I had to eliminate Buy Me a Coffee because the only way they can do it is by considering me a business, and this is not a business for donations. So I just have a PayPal link there, and they use PayPal anyway. So the PayPal link is now personal. So I consider you a friend or family, and you can donate that way without all the Jew fees. Now, yep, let's get right into this because I forgot what the other thing was. Oh, welcome. Yeah, we keep going. We go up to 480 subscribers, and then we go back down to 478. Then we keep going up to 480. Then we keep going to 478. So, if you're new here and you're subscribing, and you're here because of the Latin Mass, that's excellent. Okay, this is the if you read the description, this is the original Latin Mass that we can figure out, going as far back as we can with what we have available. There's been so many changes over the years that the new the stuff that you see and this, I don't even know what to call them, the Novus Ordo and the traditional Latin Mass that you see if you go anywhere out to a church, the physical church anywhere, is going to be much different. Please go to ourladyisgod.com and you'll learn quite a bit. And again, you may be attracted also to my quote unquote thinking on morality and things like that, which is good. But you also have to apply the same standards. So did they infiltrate, because you know they infiltrated the family, did they infiltrate the church? When and what did they do? And that's where Mr. Nobody has done a most phenomenal job at the website. I'm just a guest there. Please check it out and have courage and discernment. If you act in fear, then that's not from God. That's from Satan. All right, Balance Your Account, chapter 13. In the book, Give Yourself Credit, Money Doesn't Grow on Trees, by David E. Robinson. Adapted from lesson 18 of New Beginning Study Course. All right, you are the creditor. All right, let that sink in. You are the creditor. It's really hard, and I still have a hard time. I constantly have to stop and say and flip this around. I don't owe. This is what we have to do. I don't owe the credit card company. The straw man does. Okay? So I am the creditor of the debtor straw man, whether you know it or not, and you are too. Corporate entities, I'm going to read this part slow. Corporate entities are pretending to be creditors in your place. Okay, so let's say a credit card company that I'm sending an ovation to, sends it back, and again, they address it to the all caps name, and they tell me you, and I'm thinking me, but I'm like, no, wait, they really mean the straw man. You agreed to this, and you have to do this. Okay, so and they say you owe us. We lent you this, which is a lie. All right, and again, the father of lies is the father to a certain group that runs most of these credit card companies. Corporate entities are pretending to be creditors in your place. Why are they getting the interest of the credit that you have supplied to the corporations in the public domain? I'm going to read that one again too. Why are they getting the interest of the credit that you have supplied to the corporations in the public domain? The corporations should be paying the interest on your credit to you instead of to themselves. And I think this is where I'm trying to read into this video that I watched recently where a gentleman acted in receivership. Okay, that's the creditor receiving the interest. And he put a claim against, I believe, T-Mobile or one of the phone companies, and got a check for $2.3 million. Not sure how that number came about, but again, I'm still in the infancy stage in a lot of this understanding of receivership benefits, credits, etc. How did this get switched around, whereby the head is the tail and the tail is the head? Quote, "The stranger that is within you shall get up above you very high, and you shall come down very low. He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you, and shall pursue you, and overtake you, till you be destroyed, because you hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded you." Very interesting. That's from Deuteronomy 28, 43, 44, and 45. Okay, now these folks here don't understand what we do about the Lord. So it gives us another advantage in seeing with the mind's eye. "Countless charges have been entered against your corporate straw man without your knowledge or consent. What can you do about it? You can balance your account by acceptance for value. You can zero out these accounts with your credit and discharge all other debts that you can see. The United States federal government has been dissolved." Let that sink in. All this stuff that you see about the earth, it's all a facade. HJR 192 of June 5th, 1993, joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause, completely dissolved the United States. The federal government of the United States exists today in name only. And that's why one of the reasons that all these presidents recently, since 1989 specifically, have been issuing executive orders like they were candy. The receivers of the United States bankruptcy are the international bankers via the United Nations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. That's of the first bankruptcy, of the one. We are also receivers, I'm learning. All United States offices, officials, and departments are now operating in name only under emergency war powers. The receivers of the bankruptcy have adopted a new form of government for the United States. This new form is known as the democracy. An established socialist, communist, New World Order by transferring the office of the Secretary of the Treasury to that of the Governor of the International Monetary Fund. Again, all of this occurred when they changed the baptism, and remember that meeting that Pope Leo XIII had with when he watched that discussion. Gold and silver were such a powerful money during the founding of the United States of America that the founding fathers declared that only gold and silver coins can be money in America. And since gold and silver coins were heavy and inconvenient for a lot of transactions, they were stored in banks, and claim checks were issued as money substitutes instead. Federal Reserve notes are not money. It is essential that we comprehend the difference between real money and paper money substitutes. Again, this is an American idea that gold and silver are the only forms of money. It's not a Catholic one, okay? So we have to understand that we have to have the Catholic government in position first, and you can make anything you want to be money, but it has to be moral. You cannot get rich by accumulating money substitutes. You only get deeper in debt. We, the people, no longer have any money, but we have our credit. And again, this system that we're in right now would even work if the corporations would abide by their rules, which their remedy, which was HJR 192. So if they would just abide by those or learn about them and then do it, okay, we could live under this system because we're the creditors, which is an acceptable position to be temporarily. Federal Reserve notes are unsigned checks written on a closed account. FRNs are promissory notes promising to pay the national debt to the non-federal Federal Reserve Bank. To pay a debt, you must pay with value or substance, gold, silver, barter, or a commodity. With FRNs, you can only discharge a debt. You should look up the word discharge. You cannot pay a debt with a debt currency system. So minus $10 minus $10 is minus $20. No contract is valid unless it involves an exchange of good and valuable consideration. Okay, there's another one that we're winning with regards to these credit card contracts and them lending. Okay, so the contract really isn't valid if it involves the exchange, it doesn't involve the exchange of good and valuable consideration. Unpayable debt transfers power and control to the governors of the international banks. Unpayable debt transfers power and control to the governors of the international banks. The Federal Reserve System is patterned on a canon law trust. Okay, here's where they're gonna get into the Catholic part of things. Adding stock and calling it a joint stock trust. The Federal Reserve is a sovereign power separate and distinct from the federal United States. And again, in the quote-unquote canon law business is the Talmud that gets involved in that over there. They've gotten themselves in at the Vatican. The Federal Reserve is a maritime lender, a maritime insurance underwriter to the federal United States, operating exclusively under Admiralty maritime law. And again, they like to make things really convoluted and confusing to keep us like, what? And it works, because it is very confusing. But we want to simplify it. The Federal Reserve Act stipulated that the interest on the national debt was to be paid in gold, but there was no stipulation that the principal ever had to be paid at all. And that's how the international J bankers, small hat bankers, rope these countries into continuous slavery. Okay, because they don't want them paying back the principal, because then they lose their control. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 hypothecated all property in the United States to the Federal Reserve Bank. U.S. citizens, tenants, franchisees were registered as beneficiaries of the trust via their birth certificates. In 1933, the federal United States hypothecated the present and future assets and labor of its subjects to the private non-Federal Reserve Bank. In return, the Federal Reserve agreed to extend all the credit, aka money substitutes, it needed to the federal corporate United States. As with any debtor, the United States government had to assign collateral to its creditors as a condition of the loan. Since the federal United States didn't have any assets, remember it was a corporation, it assigned the private property of its economic slaves as collateral against the unpayable federal debt. It also pledged the unincorporated federal territories, the national forests and parks, all birth certificates, and all nonprofit organizations such as churches and privately run schools as collateral against the federal debt. Now, I have a feeling that what's going on with Trump is that like he's stopping all this spending right now. And I have a feeling that there's going to be this cap on the principal expanding the debt, okay? and there may be some remedy here for us pretty soon. Everything has been transferred in payment to the international banks. Now, don't get me wrong here, where I still don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and he's put on some weight. Again, his backers are the small hats, and they want to set up a new system because they know this one's coming to an end. And again, they want to set it up the same way, only with digital. America has returned to its pre-American Revolution feudal roots. We the people are tenants, renting our property from the Federal Reserve Bank. We the people have exchanged one master for another. This has been going on ever since 1933, without the informed knowledge of the American people. Okay, that's another thing we should get into, is Catholic media. Where are you on this issue? Why are 90% of Americans mortgaged to the hilt and have little or no assets after all debts and liabilities have been paid? Why does it feel like you are working harder and harder and receiving less and less? We are reaping what we have sowed, Protestants, and the result of the harvest is foreclosure and lax Catholics. Is foreclosure on American property, liberties, and the way of life. Again, liberty is not what we're seeking. We're seeking freedom. The federal United States is bankrupt in world leadership, financial credit, vision, and human rights. This is an undeclared economic war, economic slavery of the most corrupt kind. All right, I'm going to stop there today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about overcoming debt with knowledge. I have a planned conversation with a lady who's been helping me with understanding the value of registered mail and negotiable instruments and endorsements. And she says she has some news, more information for me, and will be in contact with me today. And again, I will share it as I become confident in its use, and then I will share it with you. There are those who are out there on the internet, who sell these programs for $1,000 and stuff, which is to me criminal at this point of the game. You should be just giving it to people so they can get out of jail. All right, enough chatty Cathy this morning. Deum vobiscum et quoque apote. Oremus. Almost Holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc amagatam hostium, quam ego indenius famulus tuus offeriti Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligencies meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed et pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum, vivis atque defunctis ut mihi edidis proficiat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantia dignitatem mirabilitu condidis et mirabilis reformasti da nobis spiritus atque tu in mysterium, eius divinitatis esse consortis qui minitatis nostrae, Fieri notis parteceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivetat reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantis clementiam ut aspectu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundi salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiamur te Deum Iesum Christum et sacrifice sacrificium nostrum et conspectu tuo hodie, ut placeat tibi Deum maternam nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata prosequendo, et acapere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas, concoblationem cum tibi efferimus, amamorem passiones, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum maternam nostra, et a Papa Peter Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiet ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere et in caelis, coram amorem agimus in tedis per in Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam aquestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudem et gloriam nominis sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum ubiscum, quoque te, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te Domine Deus me mater et pater et Deum maternam nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae supplices rogamus et petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas haec sanctam sacrificium irribata. In primis quae tibi efferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam vacificare custodire honorare regere dineris tot orbiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famorum getorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Robert Dosco Jr. and Sr., Katie Gage R.M., Eleanor Lively, Marie Josephina Mose, Letitia, Mindy Claret, Mark Jr., Henry Barber and Benedict Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, Luis Antonio Cantu, and the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McClellan and family, Sarah, Becky, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria, and the Lineweber family, Tedasco, Nye, Tafur, Vegan, Wolf, and Kane families, and all their intentions. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium exchange with no usury. We pray that courageous men step forward as leaders of this Catholic society, stop all efforts for the satanic means of obtaining adrenochrome. We ask for courageous men to stand up against quote-unquote gay marriage, pornography, and the OnlyFans platform. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity. We ask for an increase in humility. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. And we pray for those who are evacuating Santorini, that they come to know the Most Holy Trinity in its real form, and they seek the Holy Trinity to help and guide them. All this we ask in accordance with the Most Holy Trinity's divine will. et omnium circumstantium coram tibi fides cognate est, et nota duotio pro quibus tibi efferimus veruque tibi offerunt hoc sacrificem laudis, pro se suis omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum, pro spe salutis et in calamitatis suae, tibi credunt vota sua, aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memoriam honorantes in primis gloriosae, semper Dei Matram nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Luci, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meditis praecibusque cancedas, ut in omnibus protectiones tuae moniam auxilio per in Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratum ac tabularum cafeceri dignidis ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi Filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit de parlament sanctus aquanabis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in calamate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit frege didique lumis vidicens accipit et manducat ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremoniae est accipiens et hunc preclarum caricem in sanctus aquanabis manus suas identibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, quanto grave dedique lumis vidicens accipite et vivite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum, aequat est cumque feceritis in me manifacietis. Unde et memoris Deum nostro virtuis et plebs tua sancta Iustum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae tam beate passiones nec non et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelus gloriosa ascensionis afferimus praeclare maestati tui de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio accere novutur respicieri digneris. Supplices terramus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivi hic perfide manus tuum ut quod ex acataris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sincerimus, omni sanctificatione caeleste gratia Dei per amor per in Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Nick Dasco, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quiscentibum locum verificere iducis et paucis ut ontor gesta proclamar per in Christum Deum nostrum. Per quem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matram omnipotentium in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dea matronam nostrae, matram Deum Iesum Christum, ora pro nobis peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis sta propicius pacem in diebus nostris. Ut op in misericordiae tuae aduiti de peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Periendum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tegum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum, sit semper vobiscum et quoque apud te. Haec immixtio consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum fiat excipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, corporante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificaste, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum, tuum abondibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis, et fac me tui semper in halare mandatis et in cum separali permittas, qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis serenam aeternam. Percetio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sumere, praesimo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi, ad tutumentum mentis corporis et ad me delam percipiendam, qui vivis et reinas cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deam matronam nostram non sundinius, podetus ut et meis in tantiqua versam paternam mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sundinius, utitus ut et meis in tantiqua versam paternam mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sundinius, utitus ut et meis in tantiqua versam paternam mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem in nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis avosero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod res subsumus Deum Iesum Christum finamente capiam et timore et tempore fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sanguis quam petavi et hediat vis geribus meis apraesta, ut in men honore mani et scelum et calquem pura et sancta reficerum sacramenta. Deum Vobiscum, et quoque apud te, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech you, most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum Vobiscum, et quoque apud te, ite missa est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium subitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificim corporis tuae majestatis in minus auctoribus et captable mique et omnibus, proquibus idut optoliciti miserate propitiare et cursum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum. Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gratias. Most Holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinity, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of God Jesus Christ, who was, is, and ever shall be, present here in reparation for the outrageous, sacrilegious, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of God our Lady, who was, is, and ever shall be, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for being here and for listening, for sharing and liking and subscribing. And yeah, tell as many people as you can about this that are interested. Shake them up a little bit. We're changing the world for the better. Just this little group. It's amazing to see how things are happening and transpiring. Please go and please say your rosary every day, at least once, 2-3 times or more. And please go and sanctify all those who you meet. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. And we're getting a lot of snow. Over the next week, we're supposed to get, I don't know, like 20 inches total. Not in one storm, but in multiple storms. It's a good thing I feel better so I can get the shovel. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.